Crowhill here. Today we review a cider and open the mailbag. Good evening, Pigweed.
Good evening, Crowhill.
All right.
How about some beverage and conversation?
Okay, sounds like a good idea.
All
So,
right.
what's going on? What's on your mind?
Well. It's mailbag time.
Mailbag time, okay.
We've got a
Very
backlog of comments and criticisms.
But what are we
and
drinking instead of beer?
We have a cider.
Cider.
Yes,
Okay.
there's our family. What do you call that when you pass out? It's not Secret Santa. It's one person gets to pick and the next person gets to
some
steal.
kind of an auction.
Or, yeah,
It's
White
Chinese
Elephant
auction.
or something. Like
yeah,
that.
something like that.
All right. Anyway, at the end of the evening, I ended up
with some cider.
With some cider from Western Maryland, Accident, Maryland.
Yeah.
As far as you can go west.
Yeah.
And so here it is. So so cider is what?
So, cider, usually it's fermented apple juice, but not always.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. If you make it from pear, it's called a perry. But there's other kinds of fermented things. Cider is apple juice.
Right.
And then there's also all these weird words that if you do it cider plus spices, it's something else. It's kind of like mead. You get all these other strange
brackets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Off dry hard cider.
Okay.
Coming in at 9.3.
Okay.
Very
good.
Wine strength, right?
Yeah.
It's like
a
an
lighter
apple wine.
Yeah.
It's not carbonated.
All right. So off dry means it's going to be a little bit sweet, but not very sweet.
So what do you mean? Off dry is less dry than dry.
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's what they mean. Yeah. Kind of like off white is less white than white. So off dry cider means there's a tiny touch of sweetness there. And I'm also getting just a tiny touch of apple flavor, which is good because a lot of times in a cider you don't really get the apple.
It just ferments all the way out.
It ferments out and you don't really taste any apple. So I'm not a huge cider fan to tell you the truth, but
really?
but this is interesting.
It's a nice break.
Kind of nice, yeah. Interesting
very
thing. So we love comments, by the way. You can send us comments at pigweedshow@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Facebook and post comments there, or post comments on YouTube. But we've got a bunch of them this time. So
all right, let's roll right through them.
Okay.
And the first collection are all based on our review of Catcher in the Rye.
Yes, there were a lot of comments on Catcher in the Rye.
All right.
Okay, so how about from Raven?
All right.
As opposed to the book, I thoroughly enjoyed your review of Catcher in the Rye. I felt that one more that kills me, and I would kill myself or die of boredom.
Yeah.
If you don't know, that kills me is something that Holden said all the time. Where today I'm protesting genderqueer being placed in schools, I might have been protesting kids being made to read this book for all the reasons you brought up.
Right.
Think of all the kids who hated reading after reading that one. You clarified for me the key to the story, the transition from kid who says what he thinks to a guarded adult. I will give the author credit for one thing, the surprise ending. But where the story covered 3 days, the author could have made his point in 3 pages.
Rough.
Easily done, eliminating all the cussing and filler words.
Right.
He should have stuck to short stories, real short. I really enjoyed your podcast perspective and found the biography of the author very interesting as well. I'm looking forward to more of your podcasts. All right. So, I mean,
that's fine.
fair criticism. I mean, she is not a fan.
She is not a fan.
Not a fan of
just let me... I don't have an academic or intellectual defense.
Yeah.
I would say strictly in the pleasure of reading it?
Yep.
Yes, I enjoyed it very much. The other thing is the longevity. Like what I gauge a value of a movie is how much do I want to talk about the movie afterwards, and how much does it linger with me? Sometimes it was a fun action movie, and all right, I'm done, moving on with my life. And sometimes it's like, hold on, we got to
think about it all the time. Yeah.
And that was also my experience.
Okay,
I thought about it a lot. Holden was on my mind for days. So in terms of just, like I said, I'm not making the case that anybody has to read it, but my experience was not what her experience was.
Okay, all right, very good. So you got another one about Catcher in the Rye.
So this was simply, what is the Catcher in the Rye?
Okay, right. It's a very weird illusion. In the end of the book, he feels as if his life is, there's a bunch of kids playing on a field in the ryegrass, and there's a cliff over here, and he's kind of watching to make sure none of the kids run off the cliff.
Yeah. So, and this is an important metaphor for him.
Yeah.
And he's thinking it's about protecting innocence.
Yeah.
But he gets it all wrong. He gets it entirely wrong. So he says, I saw this kid was singing a song. This is back when he was, getting ready to go in the museum and whatever.
Okay.
He says,
Yeah.
if a body catch a body coming through the rye. He had a pretty little voice, just singing the hell out of it. If a body catch a body running through the rye. It just made me feel better and made me feel not so depressed anymore. Later on in the book, he's sharing this with Phoebe, and he says, you know that song, If a Body Catch a Body? She's like, what? She says, it's If a Body Meet a Body, and it's not a song, it's a poem by Robert Burns. And he says, well, I know it's a poem by Robert Burns, but what I loved about the whole thing was the idea that a person, and I'm sure it happens all the time, would structure like an important event.
Yeah.
That they misremember.
Yeah, sure.
Or that they misunderstand.
Yes.
Or that there's this time that they spent having this conversation at this party, only to find out, what? I wasn't even at that party.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
I just find it so interesting.
It's like somebody. It's like a pastor giving this great sermon on a completely wrong interpretation of a passage.
Yeah. Yes. So I mean, this was a very meaningful song. That it wasn't a song, and he misunderstood it. That's right. And that became the title of the book.
Okay,
so anyway,
that's pretty funny.
I thought that was funny.
All right. So here's one from Heathen Abbey. First, he's laughing when he's writing this. I seldom find myself in agreement with Pigweed. Sorry. But I think he absolutely stuck the landing when he commented that this book effectively serves as a sort of gateway to reading for those perhaps ill-inclined to do so. I was perhaps of that ilk when I read it in high school as part of my curriculum. I found it inherently relatable and engaging, and that some of my small worldly perceptions and experiences weren't unique to me at all. In fact, they go back some time. Artfully written and authentic, I 100% support its inclusion in high school curriculum.
Right, so this is in contrast to the previous person who said how many people no longer wanted to ever read again,
right.
is what she's saying.
Right.
But at least Heathen Abbey is more like, no, I agree. This could be like a gateway. Like the previous book they made you read was Moby Dick.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm never reading again. And then Catcher in the Rye comes on and you go, I don't know, maybe I could get into literature.
And a lot of it is a matter of taste, because some people are going to like Moby Dick and some people are not, so obviously Raven doesn't like it, and Heathen Abbey did. Yeah. So, what are you going to do? All right, you got somebody else?
I got one more from Catcher in the Rye, and Uncle Vanya says, was it ever made into a movie? Seems like it would be a good movie.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't, very deliberately. Salinger said Holden wouldn't like it. And Holden famously hated movies.
Okay.
But he also was just very protective.
Yeah.
And the Salinger Artistic Trust, or whoever's in charge of the copyright,
is sticking to that?
Is sticking to it so far. And apparently, I've heard people from Jack Nicholson to Leonardo DiCaprio, people along the years have really offered a lot to do it? To try to get the copyright. And they just won't. But see, this is one of those things where the second generation is respectful.
Yeah.
And then, the third generation.
Yes.
Right?
I want the money. Yeah.
Yes. So who knows when.
Well, that's what I think has happened with the Tolkien estate, to tell you the truth. I don't think Tolkien would have appreciated the movies.
Oh.
I really don't. But anyway. All right. So we have one more on Catcher in the Rye from Pentamom. We do, yeah. From Pentamom. This had me questioning my own opinion, especially Longinus' claim that it was one of the perfect American novels, but ultimately, it stinks.
All right, we got another downer.
Yeah. It helps that Longinus established that we're on totally different wavelengths by claiming that Huck Finn is also perfect. Huck Finn is a good novel buried somewhere inside of a slog that wastes huge amounts of time of Twain indulging himself.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty rough.
That's not a high opinion of Catcher in the Rye, and also not a high opinion of Huck Finn. Yeah.
No. Or Longinus, for that matter.
All right. That's right. Speaking of which, Goldilocks 12 said, how did Longinus get his name?
Well, this is weird. Longinus and I were college roommates, and he got this secondhand motorcycle that I just remember him working on more than he ever rode. Mm-hmm. And the style, I don't even know what it was. But it's just, as opposed to like the front and back seats, like the lines of a chopper type motorcycle, it had just this long flat seat.
Okay.
And he named the motorcycle Longinus, just making it up.
Yeah.
Well, my girlfriend at the time's mother was an English professor.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's it. She gave Longinus way too much credit.
Yeah.
And said, that's the name of like a first century Roman critic.
Now,
literary critic.
Longinus is the name of the Roman soldier who stabbed Christ on the cross.
Right, who became a saint.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right, so the actual origin is far more pedestrian. I like the other two. It's just a combination of Roman soldiers and Roman literary critics.
And motorcycles.
And motorcycles. So that's
really fits.
That's the origin.
It really fits.
That's how we got.
Okay, what else have you got?
So, the Zamzar is commenting on the War on Beauty show. It says, do you think the Obama library is deliberately ugly? Well, I mean, with all modernism, it looks like a garbage can.
Yeah.
And I don't know what what did they say? It's supposed to be like four hands coming together or something like that. But it looks like something out of, there's a Star Wars reference to, this evil prison or something.
Okay.
It just looks awful. And I wonder if this executive order is a direct reaction or just a general reaction.
Okay.
But I'm saying the August 20th, 2025, Restoring America's Architectural Grandeur executive order mandating that federal public buildings such as courthouses and government office buildings embrace classical architecture to honor tradition, foster civic pride, and inspire the citizenry.
Okay.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No, I mean, we went down to D.C. and toured around some of the buildings, and they're amazing. And they are awe-inspiring, and it looks like, wow, this is beautiful, and it elevates the spirit. And then you see some new modern thing, and you think, what is that pile of garbage?
Yeah, what is that pile of garbage? Why are you bringing me down?
I know.
All of the elevation that beauty brings to the soul.
Right.
You just ripped it right out.
I know.
With your garbagey building.
Yeah.
So it's terrible.
All right. So how about, here's from Diverser Than You. Now, by the way, about the names, if you write to us, we will not give your actual name on the show. So if you give yourself a clever handle, we'll use it. If you don't, we'll give you one. All right. Yeah. A while ago, you had a show on words and concepts that the left has ruined, like the rainbow. You need to add this one. You need to add this one, diverse. It's a very useful word. For example, the wisdom of crowds applies when a large and diverse group of people are making guesses. But now, diverse has this racial woke connotation.
As soon as you hear the word diverse, I roll my eyes. But it's a perfectly useful
word. It's a very
term.
useful word, but they've ruined it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
That's a good one. We should
I'll add that one.
Add that one to the list if we ever redo that topic. Yeah. All right. What else you got?
Titan 22. You remember the somewhat controversial show called Why Are You Gay?
Yes.
So, you noted that the crime for homosexual rape of children is punishable by the death penalty in Uganda.
Right.
That's sort of how the whole show started. Right? And so Titan is saying, you do realize that Florida just passed the death penalty for rape of a child under 12.
Okay.
We got so hot and bothered about it taking place in Uganda, and then turned around and passed one here in the fine state of Florida.
But not specifically for homosexual rape.
Is that the distinction you're drawing over?
Yeah, because Florida said it's any kind of rape for a child under 12.
Yes, and so the outrage would be, why are you picking on the gays for raping children?
It's a fair point. It is a very fair point, Okay, fine. Let's have the death penalty for anybody who rapes a child.
is the distinction so strong that we would, try to wreck another country? I mean, right? I mean, it's just like 1 degree of difference.
Yeah.
What about? Are we concerned about female genital mutilation, the permanent disfigurement of a girl?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's part of their culture.
Yeah.
Right. We don't have anything to say about that.
Right.
But if the idea of...
Well, I got something to say about that.
Yeah. Or there are countries, China, Indonesia, Morocco, Thailand, where corruption is punishable by the death penalty.
Wow.
So you
okay.
Seems to me,
I think our population would be about 100 million if we enforced that.
Exactly. But I mean, I think if we're gonna look at Indonesia and say, hey, who are we to say about that?
Right.
I would think that that's a more egregious penalty, theft, than the raping of a child.
You think theft is worse than raping of a child?
No, I would say if we tolerate... If we tolerate executing somebody for theft...
Right. Yeah, then we should certainly tolerate
it. We should certainly tolerate it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, oh, well, it is corruption and all. You want to think about that, Mr. Politician?
That's right. This whole who are we to judge thing,
right.
It gets so annoying because it's not, nobody applies it equally. Nobody uses that as a real rule. And my favorite story, can I tell the story about, our culture says so when the Brits were in India.
Yeah. I know, we had,
didn't we have a question about this?
No, I found the quote from you shared that with me before, but then I ran across the actual quote and I'm like, oh, that's the actual guy.
Yes.
In India.
So in India, they had some custom where, like, widows would have to die on their husband's bier or something like that. They would burn them. They would burn the body of the dead man, and the widow would have to be burned on there as well, or something atrocious like that.
It's a part of our culture.
It's part of our culture, and the British guy said, "Well, we also have part of our culture, which is if you murder somebody, we hang you."
Yeah. And so what we'll do, and then he said something like, "So what we'll do is we'll put a scaffold up next to the funeral pyre, and if you feel
okay, here we go. You say that it is your custom, Charles James Napier. You say that it is your custom to burn widows. Very well. We have a custom. When men burn a woman alive, we tie a rope around their necks and we hang them. Build your funeral pile. Beside it, my carpenters will build a gallows. You may follow your custom, and then we will follow ours. Way to go, Charles.
Way to go, Charles.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so this is the last one I have. This is in response to the Candace Owens show.
Yes.
And
it was, what was it? What happened to Candace?
Yes, right. What happened?
Reasonable, and now she's done a little.
So Vice Grip 23 says, "Why do you think conspiracies about Israel are so resilient?" Now, gosh, I mean, this one requires like a minute answer or a 5-hour answer. It's very difficult.
Yes. I'm gonna keep it short, because, or maybe it'll be a show or something. Because the difficulty is it's either a case of blaming the victim, in which you're saying, well, you must have done something to deserve to deserve. Yeah. So the point being, there's the entire history from the Egyptians to the Babylonian exile till yesterday are pogroms and expulsions. I came across a 28-page list of 900 expulsions from either just towns or entire countries. Yeah. In the 12th century, that England kicked up all of the Jews. I mean, there weren't that many, but this is the thing: how much aggravation can 8,000 Jews do in an entire nation to make them go? They all got to go.
Yeah. So
that's it. So, well, there is. So that's a little bit of victim blaming. The other side is, scapegoating.
Yes. Right.
So, what is the origin of the term scapegoat?
Okay, so in the law of Moses, there was the scapegoat the priest would take take 2 goats out.
Okay.
And one of them, they would lay the sins of the people on the goat, one of them, and it would run off. Mm-hmm. So it was a atonement sort of a thing.
Right.
The idea is that you're blaming this goat, basically, for the sins of the people.
Exactly. And so the term means, quite literally as you could say, the goat really doesn't have any responsibility here. And so when people use the term, they're meaning they have no responsibility. They're simply being blamed.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, with all of these instances, is it really the case that you had nothing? Like you're as innocent as a goat?
So let's take 2 possible answers to that. One is, let's say that the Jews are uniquely blessed, and it's very easy to make that case. I mean, how many Nobel Prizes have Jews? How many? If you look at the number of people who have PhDs, the number of doctors, the number of lawyers, I mean, Jews absolutely rise to the top in a lot of ways, and you could make the case the Jews are uniquely blessed for whatever reason. Because of God, because of genetics, because of the way they're raised, who knows what. But you could say the Jews are uniquely blessed. So you could justify the angst against them because
simple
jealousy and envy, all that
resentment?
sort of thing. Yeah, resentment, all that. So that's one approach.
Right, Jewish disproportionate influence in academia, in banking,
that's right,
in Hollywood.
Sure, and it's just jealousy. So that's an answer. Another answer, which is a new one that I only heard. It's new to me anyway. I only heard it like 2 weeks ago. Somebody was saying, well, all the times when people are angry at Jews, they're really angry at God because God became a Jew.
Okay.
that was new to me. I thought that was kind of interesting. Well, yeah. So Vice Script 23, I don't know what the answer
I don't either.
Is.
I mean, it
is a difficult question because there's absolutely been a lot of not only conspiracies about Israel and the Jews and all that kind of stuff, but you've had this long history of, as you say, pogroms and everything else.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of people have been unfairly punished simply for being Jews.
Yeah.
And what's at the
root of that?
Root of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question.
It's an ugly thought, but
it is.
There we go. So, if you have questions about this show or any other show, write to us at pigweedshow@gmail.com. Comment on a YouTube video, whatever you like. And you got anything else on your list?
Well, I got one more. Do we have time here?
Yeah.
James the First says, this is back to the war on beauty.
Okay.
He says, I agree that modern art and architecture suck, but what about the litter and grass and graffiti? Can't we just keep the things that we have nice?
Oh, okay.
And so, I agree. I was just trying to limit the scope to architecture and public buildings.
Right.
But yes, there is a general sense that we're kind of letting things go.
Yes.
Like our priorities are somewhere else. Like, hundreds of millions of dollars to some city scam that produces nothing.
Yeah.
While we can't even pick the trash up and cut the,
right.
trim the bushes back.
Or on the parkway, cut back the weeds that are growing. Yeah. So yes, absolutely. There is value in mowing your lawn and trimming your hedges and planting nice flowers.
I mean, civic pride, statewide pride, just to go through and say, I was in so-and-so state, looked like crap, but boy, look, getting back to Maryland, isn't it nice to see that everything's well taken care of? And I'm a proud citizen, proud to overpay my taxes, but no, it looks like crap out there.
Yeah. And we have 2 idiot senators. So
there you
go. What do you got?
Well, at least Steny Hoyer's getting out. Has Steny Hoyer been there your entire life?
He's
Do you
been
remember?
there.
I mean, like
I don't remember
school.
a time when he was. Yeah, he's been there forever. Yeah.
But then, of course, I thought that about Sarbanes, and then I realized, this is his son. So apparently, maybe Steny Hoyer's son will be the next congressman, and
There's no corruption in politics.
There's no corruption. What is this, the House of Lords? And just pass it on to your...
Pass it on the title.
All right, anyway.
Okay, here we go. Cheers. Thanks so much for listening to Beer and Conversation with Pigweed and Crowhill. Remember to visit us at pigweedandcrowhill.com or send us an email at pigweedshow@gmail.com.